Alright, let's get ready for this final exam. So you've got your worksheets that I handed out in class. I'm just going to kind of go through the problems that go with them. So for number one, this is actually going to be a little bit of a tricky problem. You've got a few options of how to approach this. My first instinct would be to go to like a unit circle method. So I would take this 2 theta and I would just treat it as x. And so I'm going to kind of rewrite this problem to say sine x equals 1/2. And I'm going to think about how that would look on a unit circle. Now, if you remember the unit circle, it works just like a regular coordinate system. And so here I've got a sine value of 1/2. Remember that sine corresponds to the y-axis, so moving up and down here. So I'm looking for y values of 1/2. So if I put a line across here, and then I think about how this circle is going to fit in, I've got 2 different angles. One right here, and then also one here, that correspond with that 1/2 value, right? That are going to be where my 1/2 line and where the circle intersect. So we'll deal with this one first. I know that I've got these values associated with this, with this angle. If I got this at 1/2, this is going to be right at 3/2, and this is going to be 1. I also know that this corresponds, this whole situation is for when this angle is, in degrees, this angle is 30 degrees, or in radians, this angle will be pi/6. And so I know that's my starting value right there. So that's one of the solutions to this, is that x is pi/6. Not really a solution to this yet, but it's, a solution to my simplified situation. The other one, coming all the way over here, I know that this value right here is pi. And because I'm working in values of pi/6, I'm actually going to think of this as 6 pi/6 right here. And this angle represents all but one of them. I've got one extra pi/6 left in there. So if I were to add all of these up together, there would be 5 of them, right? I'm one less than my 6 pi/6. So this value here is 5 pi/6, also 150 degrees, but we'll focus on this. So I've got another solution. My x is also 5 pi/6, which is great. This is a good starting point, a good information to have. But I'm not solving my original problem yet. Unfortunately, this is 2 theta, not x. And so since this is telling me to solve it between 0 and 2 pi, I actually need to take this into account that if I set theta equal to 2 pi, then 2 theta would be 4 pi. Right? And so the solutions I get on my unit circle, I actually need to go around here twice in order to find all the pieces that I need. The other thing is that these are twice as big as they need to be. Right? So looking at x is pi/6, if I take this one, if x is pi/6, then 2 theta, if it's supposed to equal this thing, right? That makes theta equal to half of that, pi/12, right? Because if theta is pi/12, I double it, I get my x value that I wanted, pi/6. Same logic here. X is 5 pi/6 we found. Well, that's 2 theta. So our theta would be 5 pi/12. Those are 2 of our solutions. Now, this other part that I was talking about here, This tells me that I'm not done. Like these are my answers between theta being between 0 and 2 pi if we weren't doubling it, right? That was based on this x being 2 theta. Well, now that I can go all the way to 4 pi, I actually have to find 2 more solutions. So it's easy enough to do. What I want to do is add pi, right? Because the period of this thing is going to repeat every pi values. And so if I add pi to this, I really want to add 12 pi over 12, right? To get a common denominator would give me 13 pi over 12 here. And same thing down here, I would add 12 pi over 12 to get 17 pi over 12. So this problem has 4 solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, maybe you look at that and you think, there's no way I'm going to get this right in my final exam. If that's the case, let's take a look at using some technology to solve this thing. So back to my original problem here, sine 2 theta equals 1/2. I could graph this. I can get a graphical solution. I want to go into I enter the equations, y equals. For one of them, I'm going to put sine 2x. And for the other one, 0.5. Then I want to go take a look at a window. In the problem, it specifically states that I'm going from 0 to 2 pi. So I'm just going to put that in, 0 to 2 pi. And the scale I don't really care about in this problem. At y min and y max, well, we're talking about sine, right? They can only go as high as 1 or as low as -1. So this is going to go from -1 to 1. Scale, again, I don't care about. I may throw in a 0.5 just because that's the actual y value we're looking for. And then I want to graph it. So one graph represents sine 2 theta, the other graph represents 1/2. The question is asking us, where is sine 2 theta equal to 1/2? Well, they're equal in 4 places. And so now all I have to do is go into the calculator and calculate those intersection points and see what they are. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but I'll show you a few just in case you don't remember how to do this. There's also a video, by the way. You can't remember how to do this. But right above trace right here, it says calc. So I'm going to go second calc. The 5th one down says intersect, so I'll press 5. First curve, second curve. As long as you only have 2 graphs in, y1 and y2, you don't even have to think about that. You just press enter twice. When it's going to say first curve, second curve, just press enter, enter. It's going to say guess. And then the reason for the guess is just to pick which point you're looking for, right? There are 4. You have to tell the calculator which one you want. So I'm going to tell it I want this one right here. I press enter. There it is. So that's one of my solutions. So you go back onto your paper or whatever and you would write x equals 3.403. Then you would do it again. Calc again. Intersect is 5. Enter, enter. First curve, second curve. Guess. Now I'm going to go over and guess a different one. So I get close to this one, out here on the end, and it finds a different value for me. So now I go back to my paper, and I've got my second solution. X equals 4.451. And so you just work your way through and find all 4 solutions using this method.